Hello there, and welcome back to my channel. If it is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by and giving me a chance. I hope that you enjoy what you see, stay long, and maybe subscribe if you're feeling kind. If you are returning, thank you so much for your continued support. It means the world to me. So, in this video, I thought I would change it up a little bit. As you can see, I am in creative and on a different world than the usual one I play on. I've had a little trouble with motivation here lately, so I thought that it would be a good idea to change things up and go ahead and mess around a little bit with creative mode. I find that it's good to do every once in a while. You know, if you playing in survival for so long and it is a grind, even if you have a pretty established base going on, you know, you have plenty of materials and things like that, it's still kind of a grind, you know, and especially when you're building something from scratch, trying to come up with something new, and you're not really sure exactly what your vision is going to look like. So sometimes I like to change it up, keep the game fresh, and hop into creative world, give myself some ideas, be able to just grab any palette of blocks that I want, that I feel, and give things a go, you know? What I'm trying to do here is come up with some sort of rough design, color palette for the city that I will be building in the future. Or I guess you could call it a big town, small city, whatever you will. Regardless, the city I'm talking about is for the gatehouse that I just built in my last video. If you haven't seen that video, I highly recommend checking it out, and I will pop a link up to that video right now. Anyways, I've had the vision for this city for a long time. Well, the vision might be a little generous. I've had the idea floating around since pretty early on in this world. It's just taken a very long time to get there. I've built a lot of other things and kind of pushed it off a little bit. But that's okay, you know. There's no need to rush into these things. You can have the ideas, and that's great. And sometimes you can just jump right into it. You just know what you're getting into. And you know exactly what you want, right? And sometimes that doesn't happen, and that's okay too. I figured though that it was about time that I should stop slacking and try to get into it. Which obviously in this video I'm still not getting into it yet, but finally building the city gate is a step in that right direction. The big thing here is I've just struggled for what I want the builds to look like in this city, and I've talked about it a little bit in the past, and I've talked it over with some friends, buddies of mine that I'm actually on the server with, and no one has really come up with a clear direction, which is totally fine. So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into creative and try and get this figured out. And you've probably already know this if you've watched my stuff. But if you haven't, I'm a big fan of spruce. Spruce wood is arguably my favorite material in this game, at least to build with. I just think it's so versatile, and it looks good in so many scenarios. So, as you can tell, that's the main base that I'm thinking I'll probably go with for the city, or at least the majority of it. Obviously, I'm not going to have every build be, you know, fully, like, wood structure and all that. If you're wondering what world I'm playing on right now, it's actually the one that I did my windmill build tutorial on, and it's not too far from here, where I built those. But this was just a cool spot that you could see from there. This giant rocks here behind me, I just thought were so cool that I had to come over here, and this was where I was going to do some test building. Maybe make a little fake village of my own or something as I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for my actual city on the server. As you can tell, I sometimes struggle with counting off to get my odd block numbers here, as I've had to bring this wall in by one. I just start to count at the wrong spot, and I always end up being off by one block, which is really something that I've noticed has plagued me since I've come back to Minecraft. As you know, I took a very long break from Minecraft, a few years actually. So coming back to it, for whatever reason, this has been an issue that I don't really remember having back when I was younger, but that's okay. And I mean, it's Minecraft, so the whole point is you can craft something up. If it's not right, or if you just don't like it, break it on down and try again. The creativity is endless, and it's really, it only stops, if you stop, right? So, as I destroy everything here, at least, not everything, but this entire wall. Now, I will say, if this wasn't creative, this would have been a lot more painful to do. So I'm just gonna fix the weather here real quick. Don't want my houses to burn down. So, I thought that today, I would maybe talk about something that has been on my mind a lot lately. I don't know if any of you have been following all of the recent drama within video games. Mainly the no more discs, no more physical copies of games that Sony has officially announced. And I don't know how you guys feel about it. Please, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. But it's a sad time for me. It makes me a little mad, if I'm being honest. And I felt this way, about other forms of media before this. I remember when Best Buy stated that they were no longer going to be carrying and selling physical DVDs and Blu-rays. And walking into my local Best Buy at the time, for the first time, without the massive DVD Blu-ray section, it was quite a shell shock moment. I couldn't believe it was real. And it's just one of those things of how can you take something like this away? I mean, the production of putting this media onto a disc has to be so minute in the grand scheme of things for these massive companies, especially a massive company like Sony, and the PlayStation. And I had the PS4 for the last gen. I mean, look at what Sony did. They came out and they were just all about having the physical copies and being able to, take a game, buy it, and once you buy it, you own it. That is your disc, and you're free to do with it what you please. You could trade it in. You could give it to a friend to borrow. You could gift it to a friend, to someone, a sibling. I mean, once you bought it, it was yours, and you had that game forever. Or, as long as you had your console and were able to play was amazing, and it is kind of part of what won me over to jump on the PlayStation 4 bandwagon. And I loved that console. I had lots of great times, lots of hours, and good memories with friends on it. And now for them to turn around, not that many years later and just completely drop carrying physical discs going forward here in a year or two, it's just mind-blowing to me. Especially knowing how they run their online stores. It's a bad look. It's a very bad look. It's honestly a little predatory of a practice, as they're trying to monopolize everything and just cut out any sort of middleman, any sort of resale market, just to put that money back into their pockets. Is honestly pretty gross. It's pretty gross. But I don't want to drop too much on it. I don't want to be too negative here, too grim, too dark. I just can't help but think of all the games I tried, especially during the 360 era. The amount of times that my friends and I would swap games, and be like, oh, I was interested in this game, and, maybe my friend got it for her birthday or Christmas, or, they just had some money from doing some jobs here and there, and were able to get the game, and, it was, like something, like the first prototype game, for example. I wanted that game since I saw the first trailer, but I never actually got around to getting it, never just had the money for it, and, one summer, my buddy had gotten the game, and he beat it, and then, let me borrow it, and I had it for like a month or two, and played it, and beat it, and absolutely loved it, and I ended up actually buying it myself, not that long ago, because I recently repurchased. I've been trying to recollect older consoles and older games, kind of capture my childhood again, and remember all the great games that we had growing up. So I just think it's such a bad look, and I know a lot of people don't get physical games these days, but at the end of the day, that's a big market that you're missing out on, and I know they don't care about resales, but resales also help people get onto your console and onto your brand, because it's a cheaper way to get games. If you're late to the party of getting a console, and you sit there and you're like, okay, I want to get a couple games, maybe some of the ones that were when the consoles first came out, play these games. You go and you get them secondhand from, multiple places you can do, however you do it, but it's a great way to get into it. So I don't know. I just don't think it's a very good look, and I honestly believe that it's going to hurt them in the long run here. So I guess you could say the window's open for Xbox, but we'll see what they do. Who knows? Because they're a whole nother story. So far, I think I'm feeling okay about this build. I do think that it's looking a little samey, with all of the stripped logs, and this roof is definitely going to be a pain. I can already tell, but we'll figure it out. And again, that's why we're here in creative, just to kind of mess around, get some ideas, do some odd shapes, some different shapes, and see if we can make it work. See if I can make it look halfway decent. dark oak. I think it's a really nice look. Complements one another very well. Will say I definitely never use enough terracotta in my builds. I feel like, not to be fair, you have to find the biome for them, which in the server was a tremendous pain. Traveled well over 10,000 blocks through the nether just to finally find some. So, getting the resources for this, if I do end up going this route for the city, with a lot of the buildings being terracotta heavy, it's gonna be a trek. It's gonna be a grind, a real grind. And I will definitely have to build some sort of highway in the nether just to make it remotely plausible. And maybe I'll do a video on that. I mean, if you guys want to see it, I could do some sort of just kind of laid back resource gathering video, just to show you how long of a journey it is to travel on foot just to get there. And then the fun part is, because of the fact that we still haven't, defeated the Ender Dragon or anything, we have no shulker boxes, so it makes gathering and transferring all these materials just that much worse. I will say that I have been thinking about doing it lately. Beating the Ender Dragon, and because also getting Elytra would be just huge. It would be so huge. It would be just another quality of life that would make things much easier, not only for building. Building maybe not as much, but traveling between places, obviously would be much easier, much faster. It'd make going back to the storage house for more supplies way easier. It's not that far from anything that I've built up to this point, but again, like I said, just those quality of life things, Anything to make it a little simpler, a little faster. Trying to figure out this roof shape, how I'm gonna blend it all together. And it was a little rough, but I think in the end it looks very good. I think I pulled it off pretty well. And please let me know in the comments if you guys, how you feel about this type of a video. Me building it creative, and then also my commentary here, and obviously in this one it's a whisper. Shocked. Who could tell that it was a whisper at this point? But no, really, I toyed around with this one of thinking about doing some soft spoken type of stuff, or if I do whispers, but I decided to go with whispers for this one, just to try it out, see what you guys think, kind of see how I feel about it as well. And I'm also doing this late at night here. And maybe this, doing it as whisper makes this easier. You could use it as like a sleep video, if you like, which, if you find it relaxing enough, then that is fantastic. Because, at the end of the day, that's really my goal here, is to make relaxing Minecraft videos for you guys to enjoy, to have in the background while you're studying, while you're trying to sleep, maybe while you're doing some work, and also, if you find my style of building inspiring, that's another bonus, and I hope that I can just, bring out any sort of inspiration for you guys, give you guys some ideas, and try some stuff out on your own, in your own worlds. But if you don't like this, then also let me know, please. Any and all feedback is welcome. If you guys prefer just a silent no commentary, then I can easily do that as well. I just figured, every once in a while mixing in some commentary of some kind is probably good. Many, many misplaced blocks as I go here. And if you guys have any suggestions for ideas, for builds that you want to see, or excuse me while I die. Anyways, as I was saying, if you guys have any suggestions for builds you'd like to see, just content in general on the channel that you'd like to see, if you want more commentary in every video, if you want no more commentary, just, anything, let me know. Send the ideas my way, and I will do my absolute best to see them through. This part was definitely a little bit of a pain, as I definitely struggle with roofs. If the shape is at all irregular, then it really throws me for a loop. And I always struggle with, I want every part to come together in some way, having points at every point in the roof, no pun intended. That wasn't a pun. I don't know why I said that. What's that pun? I don't know. Anyways, I get sidetracked here. But sometimes you don't have to have high ridges and steep points throughout your roof. Sometimes you can bring it up a little bit and then have things level out, as I'm doing here now. And it ends up working and looking good, So, sometimes you just gotta experiment with it, Find what works, figure out what doesn't, and just grow and learn. Nobody gets better at building overnight. It's very much a trial and error thing. It's a very much watching other people, getting ideas from them, little tips and tricks, seeing things that they do, trying to incorporate yourself, looking at images online of other Minecraft builds, of other video game builds, of real life builds. There's all sorts of different places that you can go to get inspiration and ideas, and then all you gotta do is hop in and try things out yourself, And there's no bad ideas, Build and do whatever makes you happy. Because at the end of the day, it's just a video game. And the whole point is to find happiness in this video game, and to be yourself, and to be creative, and have fun. Now that we are in full swing of summer, I hope that everyone is having lots of fun and staying as cool as possible. I know there's been a huge heat wave that just passed through a lot of states. So hopefully you guys stayed hydrated. Drink lots of water. It's the best. But make sure to get outside and, go on walks, touch some grass, and hang out with people that you love and cherish. But also, take advantage of the fact that if you're in school and it's summer and you're no longer in school, grind away at those video games. Have some fun. I know I always did. And that too is very important. And hopefully brings you lots of happiness. I'm also curious if you guys prefer to have more of the Minecraft music playing in my videos, like was playing right now, or if you prefer less, or just leaving it at the normal, normal amount that the game plays. Because I know that in some of my earlier videos, I had the music like on a constant loop, pretty much. Especially since I don't really put much commentary into any of my videos. So let me know what you guys think. I think I'm also going to test out doing some more videos in the world with rain. So I can't control that in the server, as I would like to build in the dark there and when it's raining and whatnot, but because it's on the server, mobs will spawn in, which has happened to me many times, so gotta try and go to bed there. But I am thinking of potentially starting a new world, so if I do that, is that something you guys would like to see? Me building at night, like building through the night so that it's darker. So if you're using this for sleep or something to have in the background, it's kind of like a darker, dimmer setting. And that way, it's easier to fall asleep to and whatnot, or forget, So let me know if you would like that or not, or if you just don't care. If whatever, doesn't matter. And I just gotta say, seeing some of these views here, like, this world that generated is just so cool. It really makes me want to explore. It really does. And if you guys want me to do it on this world, go ahead and let me know that too, because I have a few builds here. Not much, obviously, but I could absolutely make this world the one that I do stuff on, start the new series on. I'm going to be looking at kind of installing either a new mod pack or making one myself to try and get some more cozy audio, maybe some lighting things, just little things here and there. But I could absolutely transfer this world over to that. So, let me know if you have any thoughts on that, or if you even care, I do think I definitely need to mess around a little bit with my, I don't know exactly what it's called, but the top of my roofs, the top lining here, and try and come up with some new designs. Because I typically tend to do kind of the same thing in most of my builds, which it works, but it's not for everything. And I think I definitely need to start branching out a little bit and trying some new things. So far, I think I'm pretty happy with this. The top half is definitely dark. It might be too dark, but that's okay. Again, this is really just a test bench for what I will eventually be doing on the other world. I think I'm gonna try and do a couple of these in a close, bunched type of sense to see what a group would look like if it works, if I think it has any potential, and then if it does, then maybe it'll move on to the other world, and I can start building on there. I definitely do want to try to lay out kind of where the buildings are gonna go, which is something that I've wanted to do a lot in my past worlds, because I've never actually taken on building a city. I've planned to do it many times, but I've never seen it through to fruition. So it is a daunting task for me, and really at the end of the day, I just gotta, it's just one build. Just do one build at a time. There's no rush, and to just get to it as I get to it, and try not to rush it and burn myself out. And I'm hoping that some of my buddies will be able to help out a little bit, especially once I get like those first couple houses down, first couple buildings, and they see the style, then they can just mimic it and, add some buildings in. And especially if I do kind of a layout of where everything's going to kind of go, then that'd make it even easier for them to just jump on whenever they're available. And if they feel like adding to it, they can just go and be like, okay, here's the spot right here, and just start building, But only time will tell. Going back to the topic of summer, do you guys have any big plans this year? If you haven't done anything yet, that is. Any Ren Fair goers? I know that Ren Fair season has started to open up, or will be opening up soon for a lot of people. My local Ren Fair's been up for I think at least a week now, maybe 2. Not 100% sure. But I'm definitely trying to go again this year. Had a blast last year. Not sure if my outfit will be ready yet, it's not ready yet, but ready for by the time we go. But that's okay. I think I would like to have it mostly finished by the time Halloween rolls around. But this year I am planning on going as Eric from The Last Kingdom. I don't know if anyone here watching knows what The Last Kingdom is. If you don't, I highly, I cannot recommend it enough. It was probably a top 3 show of all time for me. And they even finished it with a movie, which, all things considered, was pretty good. The final season of the show, too, was mind-blowing. It was incredible. Absolutely incredible. But it is actually based off of the books by Bernard Cornwell. One of the two. Can't remember right now. But I don't know how many books there actually are in the series. It's a good amount, I know that. And I have the first book. I read that a few years ago. And it was really good. And it was fun to see the differences between the show and the book. Obviously, there's always going to be those. And just how much more detail the books go into, which always happens also. But it also slows things down, which, again, you're in a book, so you can do that. You have way more time and space to do such things. So you could do it either way if you want to watch the show or read the books first, whichever you prefer. I don't think there's any wrong way for doing it for this series. But the show is on Netflix. And it's, again, like I said, love it. But anyways, circling back to what brought me onto this is, I'm going as Eric, he's a Dane character on the show. And that is who I will be going as, or attempting to, anyways. So I have been growing out my both my hair on my head and my facial hair for the past couple months. I'm not sure my beard is going to be long enough. It probably won't be. It might be by October, but I don't think it will be during the Ren Fair season. I've gotten it pretty long, but it's not quite there yet for the style that he does. Maybe I'll pop an image of him on screen here at some point if I remember to do that. We'll see. But yeah, that's my planned outfit for Ren Fair and for Halloween. Last year when we went, I went as Altair, who in my opinion is the greatest assassin that ever was. I might be a little biased, I don't know, but I really feel like the first game was my favorite, and Altair is my favorite assassin. And boy, I was a little nervous going dressed as him last year. But wow. I got so much love and so much attention from wearing that. And mind you, my Altair outfit that I have is very unfinished. I got it years ago as part of a costume for my film studies class. And so it's like half finished. It's really just like the clothing element of his outfit. I have the gauntlets and the red sash, and that's it. Like I don't have the belt. I don't have the shoulder piece. Don't have the hidden blade. Either of his swords. Nothing of that. I don't have his boots. Nothing. Just pretty much the clothing aspect of it. But yeah, I got a lot of funny comments from like the shopkeepers and stuff of warning, there are assassins out there, there are assassins on the loose, I hear, and just funny things like that of people feeding character. And it was great. It was really great. And so many people wanted pictures and got so excited whenever they would see me, and I was just like, I was so blown away because I just could not believe that actually happened, and I almost didn't go dressed as anything, And, I'm really happy I did dress as Altair. Like, it turned out to be great, and I loved the amount of other assassins I saw there. It's a pretty good amount. It's a good turnout. There were no other Altairs. I was the only one, which is kind of cool. But a lot of people were very excited by that, so that was a fun, cool experience. And I am thinking about in the future, kind of adjusting that outfit, and kind of making it into my own. Just not Altair, but just an assassin kind of from that time, but kind of not, taking my own spin on it. So that'll be fun one day. Alright, well, I think that this build is coming together pretty well. we are nearing the end of the external parts. Anyways, obviously just gonna do some detailing work here of windows and whatnot. Kind of figuring out this tower a little bit. But hopefully you have enjoyed this so far. If you're still here, thank you for listening to my wild rambles for this long. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate your support. I think this is my favorite song in Minecraft, I'm being honest. I don't know, just something about it, it's hopeful, you know, it's calming and it's hopeful. I don't know if you can tell, but I also have been struggling recently with window designs. And bear with me as I struggle to figure my way out through that. I will say, I think the one thing that this build is lacking, and what might help it, is a little bit of gradient. As it's a lot of just solid colors, right? Like the top here is all just the dark oak, and then the bottom is the terracotta. So that's something that I should probably mess around with if I'm going to continue this design over into the server and onto the city. As far as the top with the dark oak here, I think even just adding some like stairs to the open walls to get a little bit of depth would probably go a long way. And that support beam there in the middle should definitely be changed to strip spruce, so that it stands out a little bit. Like, I think that right there makes a big difference. It's subtle, but it helps. It's, little things to break up those big flat spaces. Depth and layers, depth and layers. So, I think this is where I will say my goodbye for this video. There are a few minutes left, but once again, I just want to say thank you so much for your continued support. If you're still here in this video, thank you for making it through my rambles. I appreciate it so much. And I will be back on Saturday with another video. I think it's going to be of the house that I built after this one, which will be going right next to it, so another creative build. So make sure to let me know what you guys think of this one. If you like this style, if you want to see more of this going forward in the future, please let me know. And I hope that you have a wonderful day and that I was hopefully able to make your day a little better. Thank you guys so much. I will see you again soon. Goodbye.